Good afternoon to everyone. And actually, it is my great privilege to take a full class for this. And I have been told why it is disturbing. So, now I have been told that I have to take some 4 or 5 or 6 class, maximum 6 and minimum 4, on the unification of Nepal, that is first. Then the role of Prithviraj Saha as a strategist. So these are the 2 topics which I am going to discuss with you in the next 4 or 5 minutes. And to begin with, I will discuss the unification of Nepal. And we start today, and possibly in 3 or 4 lectures, I will be able to complete that chapter. Now, first of all, I could not bring the PowerPoint because of the very short period of notice. And the person who is in charge of this program, he has made a photocopy of the points I have mentioned here, and he will distribute you that points, and that will be a kind of handout to you. Okay. Now, when we talk about the unification of Nepal, it is the military conquest of the 3 states of Nepal Valley, and also different principalities in the east and the west, and that is called the unification of Nepal. But there is a little controversy about the unification of Nepal, and that is, most of the writers consider the conquest of the valley kingdoms, that is Kantipur, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur, as the unification of Nepal. So when a student is asked, when was Nepal unified? And the answer will be 1768 or 69. Because 1768 was the year when Kantipur and Lalitpur were conquered by Prithviraj Saha. And regarding the year 1769, it was the year when Bhaktapur was conquered. So, most of the writers believe that the conquest of the valley states of Kantipur, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur was the unification of Nepal. But it is not so. Actually speaking, when we talk about the unification of Nepal, it starts with the year 1742, when Prithviraj Saha made his first attempt to conquer Nuwak, which was a part of Kantipur, which was not an independent state, but it was a part of Kantipur. And the unification of Nepal begins only in 1816, when Nepal lost a war with the East India Company and the Treaty of Sugoli was signed. So the 75 years from 1742 to 1816 is the unification. So this thing, first of all, we must be clear. When we talk about the unification of Nepal, it is not only the conquest of the valleys, it is not only the conquest of Kantipur, Lalitpur, rather, it is the conquest of the eastern and western principalities, and also the war with the East India Company, which Nepal lost, and which actually ended the unification process which was started by Prithvi Narayan Saha in 1742 with the conquest. So this is actually the meaning of the unification. And the unification of Nepal is actually carried on for full 75 years. That is from 1742 to 1960. Now, regarding the unification of Nepal, I have tried to divide the unification of Nepal into 3 phases. The first phase is what we call the foundation of the unification. Foundation. And it starts with 1742 and it ends in the year 1769. So this is the foundation period. We call it the foundation of the unification. Then the second period is the period of expansion. Expansion of the unification. And this second period covers the period 1770 and 1790. From 1770 to 1792, we call it the second phase of the unification of Nepal. It is the unification of Nepal, which had been founded by Prithvi Narayan Saha, was expanded. There was the complete expansion. And the third period, which we call the climax of the unification. First one is the foundation, second one is the expansion, and third one is the climax. And it starts with 1804 and it ends in the year 1860. And there is a gap of about 12 years, that is from 1793 to 1803. This is a gap in the unification period because no unification work was done in this 12-year period because of the political instabilities, because of the political turmoil, and because of the instability in everything. The unification work was disturbed. It was discontinued. But from 1804, it was again started, and the unification of Nepal was completely halted, or to say over, by the year 1816, when Nepal signed the treaty with the East India Company after our defeat in War. So these are the 3 main phases of the unification of Nepal, which we are going to discuss in the next 3 or 4 days. Now first, today we discuss the foundation, or to say, the unification of Nepal foundation, the starting point of the unification of Nepal. Yes, sir. Now to begin with, before the unification of Nepal by King Prithvi Narayan Saha, Nepal was divided into more than 50 small principalities, more than 50 small independent states. And in the far western region, that is in Karnali region, there were 22 states, which I think most of you know it well, which we call Vaisi states. So there were small 22 states in the Karnali region, that is in the far western region. And the exact number of these small principalities may be different from time to time. Sometimes it may come down to 20, and sometimes it may go up to 22 in different times. But even then, the group of states which existed in in Karnali region, we call it Divine. In most of the times, there were 22 small states in the Karnali. That's why we call it Divine. Similarly, in the Gandaki region, there were 24 other states, similar principality, and we call them Soviet. And here also, there may be some difference of the number of these states in different times. Sometimes it may come down and sometimes it will go up. But even then, those states in the Gandaki region were famous as the Chovishi. Chovishi states are a group of 24 small states. Similarly, in the Kathmandu Valley, and the Kathmandu Valley at that time is famous as Nepal Valley. Not Kathmandu Valley, it is called Nepal Valley at that time. And in the Nepal Valley, there were 3 independent states, as I also know, Kandipur, Bhaktapur, and all these 3 states were ruled by the Malwa ruler. So there were 3 independent states in the Kathmandu Valley, known as Nepal Valley. And in the east, or to say in the eastern Tarai and this mountainous region, there were again 3 or 4 small states, and chief among them were Makwanpur, Vijaypur and Chogar. These were the 3 small states, and all of these states in the east were ruled by the Senar kings. The kings of these small states in the east were ruled by the Senar dynasty. So in total, more than 50 small states existed in Nepal before they were unified by King Krishnanarayan Saha and his successors from a period of 75 years, from 1742 to and the leadership of the unification of Nepal was taken by Gorkha. And Gorkha was one of the small states just in the west of the Kathmandu Valley, and it was one of the Chovishi states. But sometimes Gorkha claimed that it was not a Chovishi state, it was a separate independent state, but anyway, there is a little bit controversy about that, and we don't want to discuss those controversies. If you are students of history, then I will be glad to discuss this controversy, but it is not of your job, that's why. We have to say that Gorkha was also one of the Chovishi states. And it was Gorkha who took the leadership in the unification. Now, you have read just an outline of the history of the world, you will be actually familiar with the unifications of Italy and Germany. Unification of Italy and unification of Germany. And these unifications were carried out in 1970. That is much later than the one, But those unifications of Italy and Germany are very famous as a part of the history of the world. And in Italy was also divided into so many small states, and one of those states was Sardinia. And Sardinia took the leadership in the unification of Italy. Similarly, Germany was also divided into 39 states, small states. And it was Prussia, one of the states of Germany, which took the leadership in the unification. So in Nepal also, the role played by Sardinia in the unification of Italy and the role played by Prussia in the unification of Germany in the unification of Nepal, the same role was played by God. I think it is clear. It was under the leadership of a small state Gurkha that Nepal. So, yes.
How many states were there in Italy, sir? Before the...
No, there are hundreds. So, I cannot give you the exact name because, you know, every principality was a state at that time. Regarding the case of Germany, it was 49, whereas in Italy, there were hundreds.
So this was during 1780 or...
I think 70, it was united.
1570.
70. 1870. So it is, you know, more than 100 years after Nepal was united, the unification of Italy and Germany took place. But in India, you know, in the history of the world, these unifications of Italy and Germany had a very remarkable place in the history of the world. And that's why, when we talk about the unification in the world history, we generally take the name of Italian Church. And lastly, you know, recently in 1990, there was the unification of Germany also. Again, there was the second unification of Germany. Because we know, after the Second World War, the United States and the Soviet Union divided their areas in Germany, and it was divided into East and West Germany, as all of you know. Then it was unified after 1990. That was the second unification of Germany. And there were questions of the unification, you know, in Korea also. And sometimes there were the questions of unification, and sometimes there were the questions of what to say, horrible war between the two. That is the problem. And in Vietnam also, we do have North Vietnam and South Vietnam. And actually it was North Vietnam which conquered the South Vietnam and it was united. That I think all of you know very well. So, the role played by Sardinia in Italy unification and the role played by Prussia in German unification was a kind of model of Nepal in which the leading role was played by Gurkha in the unification. Now, there is a small controversy among the writers about the unification of Nepal. And the question is whether it was the unification of Nepal or it was the expansion of Nepal. You might have heard some kind of controversy among the writers, isn't it? Some writers say that, well, it is not the unification of Nepal. It was simply the expansion of Gurkha, right? Whereas some others say, no, it was the unification of Nepal. Because you know, during the ancient period, Nepal was a big state. Nepal was a single state at the time of Bhiksham period. But rather on, due to many causes, due to various causes, it was divided into more than 50 states. And all these 50 states were brought into one unit by Krishnanarayan Saha and his successors, and that's why it is unified. So there is a kind of controversy whether the work was the unification of Nepal or the expansion of Nepal. And this question we shall discuss at the end of our lecture. At the third or fourth period, we shall discuss. Not now. But now it is sufficient to say that when Krishnanarayan Saha started his military campaign against the small kingdoms of Nepal Valley, that is Kantipur, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur, at that time, he was not working for the unification of Nepal. That is clear, you know. We should be very honest and very impartial when we discuss this issue. We should not be guided by the grand fate of nationalism. We should not discard the truth. And that's why, when Krishnanarayan Saha started his military campaign in 1742, the main thing Krishnanarayan Saha wanted was the conquest of the valley kingdoms of Kantipur. And it is clearly mentioned in the Divya Upadesh of Krishnanarayan Saha. Divya Upadesh, you know, when Krishnanarayan Saha about to die, was very much ill, he went to Nuwakot and delivered a lecture in front of the main courtiers of Nepal, main Bhagas of Nepal. And the thing which he spoke in this lecture was compiled later on, and this is known as the Divyopades, right? And in that Divyopades he said that he was married to the princess of Makwanpur. Makwanpur was one of the states ruled by 7 kings, because I was told. So Prishmansa was married to the princess of Makwanpur, and there was a kind of, small clash between Krishnanarayan Saha and his brother-in-law, Digwanbari. Hemkardasen was the king of Makwanpur, and his daughter Indra Kumari was married to Krishnanarayan Saha, and Indra Kumari's brother was Digwanbari. So there was a small clash between in the case of the rituals, marriage rituals, because the Saha family was different, to which Krishnanarayan Saha belonged, and Sera family was different. And Sera family considered themselves as superior to the Saha. Isn't it? Because the Sena king said that they had inherited those estates by their ability and by their conquest, and they to have also a strong tie with the rulers of India. So they consider themselves to be superior. Whereas Krishnanarayan Saha also did not want to show his inferiority, which is why he said. And he also made several demands as the marriage rituals. So there was a clash between Krishnanarayan and Krishnanarayan Saha, and as a result, Krishnanarayan Saha had to return from Makwanpur to Gorkha without taking his bride, without taking his new wife. So when he was returning from Makwanpur to Gorkha, from Chandagiri hills, where the statue of Krishnanarayan Saha was recently installed, many of you may know it. When he was passing through the Chandagiri hill, he saw the Kathmandu Valley, and he asked his courtier, which one is Bhaktapur, which one is Lalitpur, and which one is Kandipur. Then his courtier told him, well, this is Kandipur, this is from the hill. Then a kind of feeling of conquering these beautiful states emerged. And he started his military campaign keeping in mind only the conquest of the valley kingdoms, only this. So the question of unification at that time does not arise. I want to tell you what it is. And why Krishnanarayan Saha wanted to conquer these 3 states? The most important cause is that these 3 kingdoms of the Nepal Valley were very much prosperous from economic viewpoint. The agriculture of this valley was very much productive, and it is said, that if the people of valley made great labor for 3 months, then it will produce sufficient grains for at least 1 year. So that type of productivity was there in the agriculture of the Kathmandu. So it was very much, influenced by the prosperous economic state of the Kathmandu Valley. And the second thing was that the 3 kingdoms of the Kathmandu Valley were always in conflict with one another. That is the second thing. And the third thing is that Krishnanarayan Saha had no option. Krishnanarayan Saha could not advance towards the west, because in the west of Gorkha there were many powerful states. For example, Kaski, London, Tonohu, no, Manpur in the east, nothing to do. Palpa, Tonohu, Barwa, many states. So it was not possible for Gorkha to move towards the west. That's why he tried to move towards the east, and the three independent principalities of the Capital Valley was his main target. It is clear? Now, how the three principalities of the Capital Valley were becoming weak and weak because of the internal clash between themselves is that, at that time, the internal politics of the Capital Valley states was at its worst point. And when we read the history of that period, it is rather very much surprising to us that those very three small states were struggling against one another. If this year, Lalitpur and Kanchipur join hands against Bhaktapur, then the very next year, Bhaktapur and Lalitpur would join hands against each other. So that was the political clash between these three small states. And apart from that, regarding Kanchipur, the last Malla king of Kanchipur was Jayaprakash. The name of the last Malla king was Jayaprakash Malla, and it was the, it was the very much strict nature of Jayaprakash Malla, strict nature of the king, that the courtiers were against. That means the king of Kanchipur, Jayaprakash Malla, could not control these courtiers. And there was a kind of clash between the different sections of courtiers, some supporting the king and some opposing the king. So that was the position of Kanchipur. Regarding the position of Lalitpur, at Lalitpur, the king was powerless, the ministers were all powerful. They were called Pradhan, 6 Pradhans, there were 6 ministers. And these 6 powerful ministers, they overthrew the king at any time they like, and they installed any person as the king of Lalitpur, and you will be surprised to know that Jayaprakash Malla of Kanchipur became the king of Lalitpur twice. Similarly, King Ranjit Malla of Bhaktapur also became the king of Lalitpur for one time. So that was the position of Lalitpur. Now regarding Bhaktapur, Bhaktapur was quite we must agree. But during the time of Ranjit Malla was the last Malla king of Bhaktapur. Now during the time of Ranjit Malla, his only one legitimate son died. He had only one legitimate son, and according to Hindu tradition, only the legitimate son can act in this form. Isn't it? That is clear to everyone. So when the only legitimate son of Ranjit Malla died, then the illegitimate son, he had many illegitimate sons, and these illegitimate sons claimed their share in each one. So there was political turmoil in Bhaktapur. So in this way, all the 3 small principalities of Nepal Valley were struggling against one another, and in all the 3 principalities of the Nepal Valley, the political situation was quite wrong. Now, regarding the position of Gorkha, why Gorkha took the leadership in the unification of Nepal? Certainly, this will be a question, and I have already answered you that there was no alternative for Gorkha than to move towards it, because it was not possible for Gorkha to move towards the west, because of the existence of many powerful states in the west. towards the east, it was not started by Prithvinarayan Saha. It was started as, as early as Ram Saha. It was Ram Saha, who concluded a commercial treaty with the king of Delhi, and who took the businessmen of Lalitpur to work on for trade and commerce. So it was Ram Saha who tried to cultivate a kind of alliance with the king of Delhi. And it was because of this alliance, the son of Ram Saha, whose name was Dambar Saha. I am going in detail because you know that in the time of intense, you may be able to answer any question regarding the unification of Bengal. So I am giving a little bit in detail. So it was because of the commercial treaty between Ram Saha and King Siddhi Narsingh Malla of Lalitpur that Ram Saha's successor, Dambar Saha, his son, he helped Lalitpur in a war between Lalitpur and Bhutan. So it was Dambar Saha, Ram Saha's son, who was involved in the politics of the Valley states. In a struggle between Lalitpur and Kandipur, Dambar Saha came to here, Lalitpur. Similarly, another king, Prithipati Saha. Now, after Dambar Saha, there were two other rulers, Krishna Saha and Rudra Saha, who you don't have to remember those names. But during the time of Prithipati Saha, he, the god in Gorkha, he also wanted to spread his influence in the Valley Kingdom. And he also had come to the Valley Kingdom for 2 or 3 times. So Prithipati Saha also tried his best to move towards the east. Similarly,